Previously on World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength, Hathor Bjornsson breaks the world record deadlift with 501 kilograms. Luke Stoneman came so close to breaking the world record log press with 230 kilograms. Tom Stoneman lifts a new Atlas Stone world record with 286 kilograms. Alexei Novikov sets a new giant dumbbell world record for repetitions, 100 kilos for 11 repetitions in 75 seconds. Rhiannon Lovely sets a new female lightweight Atlas Stone world record with 141 kilograms. Rob Kearney sets a new American log press record with 215.8 kilograms. Jerry Pritchett went head-to-head against Rauno Heinle in the 400 kilo deadlift for repetitions. Jerry managed 4 reps, Rauno Heinle managed 5 repetitions. Terry Hollins and Mikhail Shivlikov went head-to-head in the Masters World Record deadlift. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to beat the record, but Terry managed to deadlift 420 kilograms and Shivlikov managed 421 kilograms. Andrea Thompson set a new female log press world record with 135 kilograms. As up next, we have JF Caron and Adam Bishop going head to head in the 400 kilo deadlift for repetitions.
Britain, a small island which built the largest empire in human history. The nation that gave us modern sport including football, rugby, cricket, and more. Home of the English language and the most famous playwright of all time, Shakespeare. Birthplace of Tim Berners-Lee, whose World Wide Web enables us to access all of those works and more with the click of a button. The first industrialized nation on the planet with a long and rich history of science and innovation. It was Isaac Newton who discovered gravity, the fundamental force that every strong man and strong woman must battle with. It was Charles Darwin who described evolution, but it was evolution that forged these exceptional athletes.
And welcome to the World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength. Today we have JF Caron and Adam Bishop going head to head in the 400 kilo deadlift for repetitions. How's it going, Loz?
I'm good, Mark. Yeah, we've got these two awesome guys. We've got Britain's strongest man and Canada's strongest man going head to head. 880 pounds, 400 kilos. We've seen the first heat with Jerry Pritchett and Rauno Heinle getting 4 and 5 reps. Today, we want to see that magical 6 rep and that record broken.
It's great to get all these big deadlifters together and battling it out head to head. Obviously, as you just said, Rauno currently has 5 repetitions, so that's the number to beat today for these guys. What do we think? Do we think Bishop or Caron will snip those numbers?
Honestly, they've both been looking fantastic. Obviously, JF Caron is the current record holder, having done 5 reps before with this weight in competition, along with Konstantin Janasha. Those two guys are the only two that have managed 5 reps, along with Rauno now as well. I believe we might see a 6 rep today. These guys are looking fantastic. Adam Bishop, his rise in his whole performance, but his deadlift just seems to be getting better and better and better year on year. He's extremely good for reps. Saying that, 400 kilos is an exceptionally heavy weight, and you need so much extra strength to get that extra rep on top of that 5th. I do think they're capable of a 6 rep. I don't think we'll see more than 6, but yeah, these are two guys that are definitely capable of breaking this record.
Yeah, these are definitely the guys to do it, that's for sure. But as you say, that 400 kilos, that's a massive weight. And as soon as you do 1 rep, that central nervous system's definitely, let's say, firing.
It really is. It's not like lifting 300 kilos for these guys. 300 kilos is a relatively comfortable weight for these guys, which is, again, ridiculous to say. But the amount of strength you need, say you're a 450 deadlifter, which is just ridiculous. But to get that extra rep on top of that, you need to go up to becoming a 470 deadlifter, to really separate yourself. So when guys are very close in terms of lifting ability, you almost need to be at least 20 kilos stronger than the next guy to get that extra rep. And that's where, with this kind of weight, it becomes so hard. I've seen guys on the internet saying these guys will do 7 or 8 reps. I really can't see that. That's the only person I think right now that could get even close to maybe 7 would be Thor, with his, being able to pull that 501, Eddie Hall in his prime. But we've already seen, and I made the mistake before because I know how hard 400 kilos is. And watching Jerry, because we've almost come to expect to see the records broken.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself how hard 400 kilos is. And we saw it with those guys. They made 3 reps look relatively easy. And then suddenly it's like you're hitting a brick wall.
It's hit a wall, yeah.
And that's the only issue. I mean, Bish has recently done 380 for 5 in the gym, and he made it look very comfortable. So that makes me think if he's peaked well, he's fresh, we can at least see 5, and hopefully with the adrenaline, maybe 6. JF Caron hit 5 in competition where he had to travel over from Canada to the UK. He lost all of his kit. His bag was lost. He had to borrow kit off people. There was the stress of that, and he still went out there and hit 5 reps. If he's peaked well for this, I'd love to see him get 6.
Yeah. One thing to note or we can see is Adam Bishop's form on the deadlift is close to flawless, I think. Nice narrow stance, and it's just nice linear pull, no hitching, no problems at all breaking it from the floor. We'll see how he fares today.
He's got really, really beautiful technique. When you watch him lift, it is... I think one of the mistakes a lot of people make, they see the guys like Eddie or Brian Shaw, even myself, we're quite wide in the hips. We almost squat the weight up. We've got that powerful drive off the floor. But Adam is a perfect lifter for like that narrower, slimmer style. And sometimes I think people should look at his technique rather than the monsters you've seen.
Quebec, Canada's largest province, a French-speaking territory 3 times the size of France. Ice hockey is the national sport, and so Quebecers are familiar with controlled displays of strength, which is exactly what Strongman is all about. Although you may know it better for its culinary creations such as poutine, Quebec has produced 10 Nobel laureates. Their land has a remarkable abundance of natural resources with extensive mining of precious metals like gold and silver. JF Caron, however, is only interested in iron.
And we're just jumping over to JF Caron. We're going to see some of his warm-up lifts. Sort of setting the tone for the day. Obviously, if you saw Adam Bishop's lift there, that was nice and fast. Building up here. What have we got on the bar here?
Is that 5 25 kilo plates? Or 6?
Yeah.
Can't quite see.
But just warming up, getting ready. We can hear the music blaring there. Getting himself psyched up.
JF, someone that's always performed well on the deadlifts as well. He's done amazing lifts for repetitions. He's pulled big numbers at the Arnold's on the elephant bar deadlift. He always performs well on a deadlift. He's built so well for deadlifting, and he's brought up his whole game over the years. But he was always, right from the start, known as a big deadlifter. Here he comes.
All the guys seem to be wearing the suits as well. For this. Again, the suit can work with you or against you. Depends if it restricts your breathing or your positioning. But
have you ever lifted in a suit, Mark?
Yes, I have. I have indeed.
I hate the suits. I find them so restricting. They're okay for 1 rep, but I find it hard to breathe in a suit.
Yeah.
Whereas some guys feel really comfortable in them. Someone like Rauno Heinler, for instance, he gets a lot out of the suit. Other guys, not so much. It often depends on their build, how often they train in the suit, and that's an important factor with any kit that you use, is learning to get comfortable in it and learning to get the most out of it. You can't always just expect to put the suit on and for it to help you.
So you can see some of the assistants there making sure there's no chalk on the ground, or is it the talcum powder?
I don't know if it's a fly or something. He's swatting away there. Yeah, the last thing you want with this kind of weight is to suddenly have a foot slip or anything go wrong. You're just making sure everything is absolutely perfect for JF.
And you can see the amount of tension that's in that suit. JF's almost waddling around Whether that's his mass or whether that's the suit, we don't know. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of tension in there.
We started with a can, added 200, no 250, no 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, extracted from plants. Yeah, plants. So you could do this, but not this. Vitamins B3, B6, B12, you're welcome. BCAAs, that just happened. Plus electrolytes, because sweat, and CoQ10, because we had room. And then we made it taste good, without the sugar. Now, go drink it. That's how we made Rain total body fuel.
We are a community dedicated to those who love fitness and food.
We have a mission to show that you can pursue your personal fitness goals and enjoy the process.
We are committed to creating a community where you can be and should be proud of your body.
No matter what stage of the fitness journey you are on.
From fat to fit.
Hit them PRs, make them gains, and eat that donut.
Join the brand, join the message, join the movement.
La nouvelle collection Reboot de Royer. Des bottes faites chez nous, par des gens de cœur, pour les travailleurs d'ici. Royer, le respect du travail.
Hi, my name is Jean-François Caron. I'm from Quebec City in Canada, and since 5 days I'm 38 years old. One of the oldest athletes in the circuit now. I'm competing since 2004 and 16 years, and I'm 9-time Canada's strongest man. My journey in Strongman began really random. I just try where I work in the past in 2004 in Montjoly. I tried Atlas Stone and Farmer's Walk with some friends training 3 weeks. Right after there, I do almost no training. I don't train, just work on the farm and don't train in a gym. And I tried my first competition, the provincial, in 2004. And I was not qualified for the final, the top 12. I came in the 17th place, but I beat a lot of people in my area with no training. 2 years after, I became pro strongman and started Quebec Cup circuit, and I became Canada's strongest man in 2011. I have some Guinness and world record, actually. I win some of the international show, but for me, I'm very proud of my first victory on honors circuit in Johannesburg 2018, and last year here in Canada in Warwick, Arnold, Canada. Then I'm also proud to set that record, the 400 kilo for reps in Manchester in 2017 with Konstantin Janashian. It was an amazing contest, one of the most intense and beautiful contests I made in the Manchester arena. It was total full. I think 11,000 people was there cheering for us. My biggest goal I want to achieve before the end of my career is make a podium in the World's Strongest Man and Arnold Classic. For the future, I want to hit also became maybe the third men in the world to hit 500 kilo deadlift. Is one of my biggest goals. I want also to win my 10th title of Canada's Strongest Man. What is motivate me the most, I think, is what I saw the other guys training and have good result in contests, achieve new goal, lifting new numbers we never see in the past. The athletes are so competitive now. You know, we have so many guys new in the sport arrive with big genetics and lift a very big weight. And he pushed me because I'm old guy now, but they push me to become better and better. Because if you know, the status quo is not good in strongman. If you just stay like that, you decrease for sure. You must to push yourself. And if I have no injury, maybe I can continue. But the new wolf in the sport pushed me really, really hard.
And we are back with Adam Bishop. We're going for lift number 2. Looks like there's 320 kilos on the bar. As you just said previously, you want those small increments, low repetitions, just to get the nervous system warm and build to that 400, nice and slow.
Yeah, all about making this weight look nice and fast. He won't want to waste energy. One nice fast pull, making sure his technique's spot on. Making sure it feels easy. That's what you want. You want this type of weight to just feel comfortable.
I love how compact he is. Like, even his hand position is super compact. The stance is compact. He just
technique's spot on. Look at that. 320 kilos, 700 pounds, moving like a speed rep.
I think is Adam wearing the suit. I think he's concealing it underneath his t-shirt and shorts.
He's keeping it covered up, but he'll be in the suit as well. These guys, there's no point in them not wearing a suit. They want to get every little bit of help they can. Yeah. It's within the rules. You know, if it's in the rules, then you're going to try and use it.
Yeah.
There's only really been 2 exceptions. Brian Shaw is an exception to that. He's just so big that the suit restricts him. And normally, like I said with the Jerry performance, he doesn't normally wear a suit. And I'm not sure if putting the suit on actually threw him off a little bit. But yeah. I think, you know, speaking to him afterwards, he wanted to protect his hips. And that's the thing with this kind of weight. It beats you up. You can't be lifting 400 kilos week in, week out. And that's something a lot of new people to the sport don't really appreciate. These weights take their toll on these guys' body. Even though they can cope with them. Look at that. I mean, so easy.
Yeah. It's so aggressive with the pull as well. Really exerts a solid amount of force into that.
Yeah. Adam's lifting is just really, really meticulous. His technique is spot on. If you're a slimmer type of lifter, this is the man you want to watch.
And we're back over to JF Caron himself going for his next warm-up lift. We've got 325 on the bar, so 325 kilos on the bar. And sets the tone for the next lift. I think we'll have one more warm-up before, and then we'll go into it.
It's interesting watching the 2 guys warm up. They're almost doing the identical thing. It shows like there's no secrets to what these guys are doing. They're both following the same process. It's doing what they would do in the gym, an extra plate. The only difference is JF has the collars on.
And you can see the difference in mass between Adam Bishop and JF Caron. He is a big, big man.
He is. He's looking stiff these days. He's getting older. But he's still tremendously powerful. And again, easy lift. No belt, just got the suit on.
The speed of that, and at that weight, it's just mind-boggling.
That was, it feels like a long time ago when I was capable of that.
It's almost as though they're standing up from sitting on the sofa.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are so highly trained in this movement. The deadlift is such a staple of strongman.
Yeah.
And it's one of the movements that always stays in your training, no matter what. Obviously, they focus now on this record, but they'll be training deadlifts year in, year out. So...
And as you say, it's a staple movement. It's used in sandbag pickups, atlas stone pickups. Across the board in strongman, it's the staple, the king of the lifts.
Without question. The back is so important in strongman contests. If you don't have a strong back, you're going to struggle. There's not many guys that perform at the elite level now without having a big deadlift.
Watching Magnus Samuelsson win his title, that was really the first time I thought this was a great spectacle. I'd love to do it one day. The inspiration for me to really kick on is getting that first invite to Giants Live. I was suddenly competing against guys that I'd seen on TV. Big Z, Big Brian Shaw. To be in the same room with these guys was suddenly, wow, really pull my finger out and get going. I've always been a bit of a numbers geek. I like to see progression in my training, so for me it's more of the process than the title. If you get into strongman looking for fame and fortune, then you're in the wrong sport. For a competition, I'll start training 13 weeks out. I'll do a 12-week training cycle consisting of 3 different training blocks, and then I'll have 1 week of tapering. A long, slow process. It's a very simple method. I've used it for a long, long time. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it, but the key is just to make your workout brutal. And if I have a really good week, it doesn't mean I'm going to jump the weight up for the next week. It just means I'm on track. It's fantastic to be competing kind of at the top level of strongman, to be competing against guys that I've seen on TV and calling them fellow athletes. It's all incredible. It's really a dream come true. I guess on the circuit I'm kind of known as more of a technical strongman in terms of the way I lift. I try and lift everything with good form and technically sound, and that was born out of a couple of things. First, I'm a strength and conditioning coach, so I spend the whole day looking at form and technique. And the second reason is when I first started out in strongman, in terms of static strength, I was miles behind people. So I had to find out and work out the most efficient way, and that's why I kind of really focused on my form. The aim for World's Strongest Man is to make the final. I've had 2 crushing years where I've just missed out on the final. I missed off by half a point, and the other being with my torn bicep. I did most events with one arm, going into a winner takes all on stones, and I was just beaten by a better man on the day. That was tough, even though I was leading at that time. Left me with a big disappointment because I knew that I should have been in that final. So for me, I really want to get into that final day. World's Strongest Man's a unique event. It's extremely draining. It's a big achievement to make that final. I don't think people realise how tough it is to get into that top 10. Massive emphasis on my stone training now, because stones are a highly valued event, so you need to be fantastic at stone lifting, and that's what I've kind of gone away and really focused on.
So that's it, training done, food time.
Food is probably the most difficult part of being a strongman. Trying to eat, huge quantities of food. I've got a pretty weird relationship with food now. I'm not really supposed to be as heavy as I am. My family are all naturally very lean and tall, and I've had to work really hard to put the muscle tissue on, and I need to get heavier to compete with the big boys. My diet at the moment is like Groundhog Day. It's the same meal repeated several times in the day, just because it's a lot easier for me to cook up large batches of food with my busy schedule. I actually had some beef stew with some rice this morning, and I'll have that another 4 or 5 times in the day with a double serving post-training. Also have some kind of oats and some weight gainer shakes in and around those meals, just to try and keep the weight going on. Alongside my stuff with the Strongman, I'm also the head of strength conditioning at Harlequins Rugby.
We've got some beautiful British weather. It's frosty, it's freezing outside. We're on the way to the Stoops, going through their plays and doing some final preparations for our game tomorrow.
It's more about getting the team ready, because we're just over 24 hours out from playing a game. The guys will come in, make sure our strategy is right for the weekend. The sports are very, very different. I mean, rugby is obviously a very social sport. You're working as a 15-man team. Strongman, you're on your own, really. I guess one's very social, and sometimes strongman can be very antisocial. When you're playing rugby, you go out after a game, have a couple of beers. In strongman, you don't go out, you're in bed early, because you've got a big training session the next day, and you know that you've only got a limited number of chances.
Right, guys.
It was quite a slow process, me kind of transitioning from rugby to strongman, but it was basically just a big shift in my training. Didn't have to do all the running, all the fitness I needed for rugby. For me, I decided to go really, really slowly. I just pushed my body up a little bit each year and just try and make small, marginal gains in all my lifts. The first time I deadlifted was when I was up at Loughborough and I managed to pull 200 for 3. Definitely strong for my age and weight for a rugby player. The way I kind of transitioned and focused the move onto strongman was a lot more static lifts around big compound lifts. There's a big focus on just heavier training.
This is probably my favourite session of the week. I love deadlifting, which is good because I've got a lot of them to do tonight. But yeah, definitely my favourite session of the week. Deadlift's such a huge event for strongman. You don't get a good strongman who is not a good deadlifter. You have to have a strong back to be a good strongman. Without that, you will just not succeed. I'll be deadlifting like once a week. Strongman's really back heavy, so you can't be hammering multiple deadlift sessions in a week because you're already picking up sandbags and stones on another day.
My favourite event is deadlift. It's something that's always come naturally to me. I really enjoy training it. It usually gives me good points, whether it's for max or for repetitions. It's the process for me. It's setting a plan in place and then seeing that through and seeing how much I get stronger by. The aim is to win Britain's Strongest Man. That's what we're all there for. You know, with Eddie stepping down, there's a big void now in British Strongman and we're all clambering over each other to try and fill that void, and I want it to be me.
So we're here at the Fly DSA Arena in Sheffield. It's time for Britain's Strongest Man. It feels like it's been a massively long build-up for this one. Feeling good, so I'm just going to try not to think too much about the comp, stay chilled as much as I can, and I'll be good to go.
Even when I was playing rugby, I've always suffered with nerves to the point where I'm getting to a strongman comp and I'm thinking, nah, I think I'll just turn around and not compete. As soon as I'm at the venue and I hear the crowd, suddenly that all just subsides and you go into kind of, robot mode. I've kind of visualised the event several times in my head by then. I've done all the hard work. All I need to do now is execute my plan.
Representing is away. Bishop hits the
shocker on the first event, the log press. Came back hard for the frame carry, managed to get a 8.28. I knew if I stayed ahead of Terry it would be quick, because Terry's a fantastic frame carrier. I was ahead of him and it felt quick, so yeah, I was pretty happy after it, onto the deadlift.
You can't help but hear 12,000 people screaming at you. It's just a big wall of noise. You can hear the volume growing, especially if you're doing well and they try and G you up, and that really helps you dig that extra little bit deeper.
Deadlift went really, really well, so managed to win that one with 12. Took a lot out of me trying to get that last rep out. Good to get another event win. It moves me right up the table, so really happy with that.
Big drive on that bill. Who is going to finish strongest here?
It's an absolute lung buster. I wanted to win that one, but chipping away at them. So going into the stones in a good place. All out attack for the stones. You just have to go at it, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Stones, last event, got second on that, which gave me the points. Fortunately, it wasn't enough to topple Hicksy. I got a bronze trophy at the World Tour Finals in September. Got a silver trophy now, so next one's got to be gold.
We're all in the sport to be the world's strongest man. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. We all dream of it, but everyone's got a different timeline. For me, my timeline's a little bit longer than most because I've got a full-time job. So I'm trying to be a full-time strength and conditioning coach and a full-time strongman. It's just about getting a little bit better each year and then see where that takes me.
So we're back to Adam Bishop, 370 kilos, loaded up. I think this will be his last warm-up. What do you think, Loz?
Yes, I would expect this to be his last warm-up. His last rep looked phenomenal. But like I've said, he wants to save his energy for the 400. He won't want to be going too much heavier than this. I'd expect this to be his last. He's going to pull it nice and fast still, make sure everything's firing, and then he'll go and get himself focused on the job at hand. Look, he's getting himself psyched up for this as well. He knows he needs to switch on now and make these weights feel easy.
He's got himself strapped in with a figure of eights.
Always the same process for each athlete. They all have their own kind of mannerisms, but it's always the same when you watch them. And again, wow, really fast rep. That's 370 kilos.
Crazy. It's crazy. I blinked and missed it.
Yeah, I mean, Adam pulled 440 last time he went for a max in contest, but you know the way he's been progressing. Recently in training, he's done 380 for 5 comfortably. He's pulled a world record on the 18-inch deadlift in the gym, which was well over 500 kilos. His lockout strength is tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great off the floor as well. You can see the speed on this rep, just excellent. His positioning and his back stays solid. Hips come through, nicely locked out. Another beautiful rep.
Such a solid lift. So we'll be able to match this up with JF Caron's next lift, 375 kilos, a little bit heavier, but around about the same. That speed we'll be able to compare.
They're very similar, guys.
Yeah,
they're both. I think for max weight in contest, there's not much difference between the two of them. It's going to be hard to separate. I can't see anything different than one rep between these guys. Maybe who uses the time wisely, who can get that extra rep, and maybe maybe they can both get 6 reps. I just can't see more than that for either of them.
We'll find out soon. And the difference in the techniques, it's almost like not the opposite end of the spectrum, but they're very different. And especially in the aggression, JF Caron kind of keeps it internal, whereas Adam Bishop really exerts it. And
it's all different personalities. We all have different ways of psyching ourselves up, you know. I think JF's been around so long, he's a little bit more laid back. He knows what he's capable of. Look at that. Again, a ridiculously easy rep. Both these guys are looking strong on these warm-ups.
And that's the first time he's put his belt on as well. I've just noticed that's the belt just been added in, and at this weight, it's.
Yeah. I mean, 370 is a extremely heavy weight, but for these guys, it's well off their PDs. So
yeah,
they want to be moving it well. They do feel confident that they can lift this kind of weight without the belt. But it needs to go on, so he's got that feeling of being in it for when it's time to go with the record attempt. Lovely rep. Easy. Excellent power through the hips.
The lockout as well, yeah, he just pops his hips through, no problem. So we're going to break into the weigh-in of the 400 kilos. Big Z is on the camera. We're going to be using something a little bit different. It's not going to be a flow scale, it's going to be a crane scale. So from Adam Bishop's side, we're going to get the bar picked up off the floor, and that crane scale will tell us the total weight. Big Z will be looking on. I've never seen this before, the crane scale, Loz.
No, this is
quite... a fancy bit of kit to have in your gym.
Yeah, this is Adam showing off now with his fancy bits of kit. He's a strength and conditioning coach for one of the top British rugby teams. So he's got access to some cool bits of kit. We haven't seen this at all, but they're going to attach the whole bar to the crane and raise it up. There's Rob Frampton, another former great strongman, someone that's been helping many British greats over the years. You can always see Rob in the background when big lifts are going down. He's a huge part of British strongman.
Oh, it's nice to see. He's always there in the mix, pushing the younger lads forward and helping the current strongmen athletes out, especially, as you say, in the UK.
Yeah, and he's an extremely strong man himself. He's suffered a number of injuries over the years, but Rob was very, very strong.
So all the weight, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Zadrunas looks like he's just out of the shower today.
He looks fresh.
Looking fresh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I like Rob's broken English talking to Zadrunas there.
So just making sure it's zeroed in.
Yeah, okay, 0.
Yeah. Big Z confirms.
Yeah. Zadrunas has a roaming camera in there, so he can see everything that's going on that he needs to see. I guess this is much easier than weighing every single individual weight for the guys. If you've got the equipment, why not?
Yeah. We find out the weight at that lockout point. We'll see how much the bar bends here as well. And it's something as well that I wonder if you can use that for the band tension, the crane. See how much tension's going through a. They're just setting it up.
So what do you think it is? Is it going to be bang on 400?
It should be bang on.
Let's see.
Let's see how calibrated
take
the. I know some of the plates are a little bit under, some of the plates are a little bit over. It depends which brand you actually.
It needs to be 400 kilos or above. If it's under 400, they'll have to add some weight.
So they're cranking the tension on there.
Zadrunas is the man that decides the final decision. Bish just in the background, letting everyone else do all the work, staying focused on what he needs to do.
So one thing to note is there is one bumper plate and the rest are metallic thinner plates. This is allowed. Both athletes can choose whatever kit they want as long as the total weight is 400 kilos and obviously it's within the diameter of the bars.
Is that 402? 400, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, 402.
Oh, nope, it's gone under.
Is that Rob putting his finger on one side, is he?
I think we're looking at about 400, 402 there.
Yeah, just when it evens out, it'll... But yeah, just to note, these guys have been training on these bits of kit. Same with JF, Roundnote, Jerry. They've all been training on the bits of equipment they're, let's say, competing in.
You can see the flex in the bar there.
Fair. Yeah, massive flex.
Yes.
So there we go. It's...
Mm-hmm.
So they're showing Zadrunas that
Okay.
no one's touching the weights. It's settled. Just over 400 kilos.
Hmm. The weight correct?
Do you think
400 at
those
least.
small kilos make a difference? It won't make a difference or a rep or two, will it?
Yes.
No. Like I said before, to get an extra rep with these kind of weights,
Yes.
you need about 20, 25 kilos of extra strength. So, yeah, it's over 400 kilos. We've got to let him have that.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though. I mean, seeing the weights actually be weighed, it's a new thing in strongman, so it's a good thing as well. You know, it really.
Yeah.
You know, that
especially with
lifting...
world records, I think it's something that should carry on going forward into live events. Is the actual weighing of.
I was going to say, if you bring these to live events again, will you make sure this happens in those as well?
Yeah, for sure. That's something that we endeavour to take on from these unprecedented times and put it into live events. Take that forward with us.
So the helper's just sorting everything out again, making sure the bar's in place. Adam in the background just staying nice and relaxed, focusing on what he needs to do.
And that's another thing as well, like in training, Adam will be loading all the plates himself, setting everything up. So this is important that he just steps aside, relaxes, focuses on just lifting the weight. Bit of a blessing to have some helpers loading up that bar because there's a lot of plates there.
We've seen it every single week, you know, that they all have a good supportive team around them, all these athletes, and it does really make a difference. You know, when all you need to do is focus on the job at hand and you've got good people around you looking after everything else, it really helps the athletes. You can just mentally stay focused on what you need to do and prepare to give 100%.
So we have Adam Bishop going for 400 kilos for as many repetitions as possible in the deadlift. 75 seconds on the clock. Big Z will give the commands.
Let's see 6 reps. Come on.
Ready?
I want to see this record broken, Mark. Are we going to see it?
Well, he's the man to do it. I think Bishop is the man to do it. It's like with his training performance, he's been looking really good, really
He's
good.
put on size as well. He's bigger than ever. He's been focused solely on his training. Let's see this. Come on.
Take a position.
Takes himself up.
Goes for that wide stance. He'll wiggle the feet into position. Really narrow stance. He makes sure those arms are as straight as possible.
Ready?
The shortest amount of
3,
distance to lift.
2, 1, lift.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Easy first rep.
No problem there.
There's 2. Come on. Still moving well. Good. Come on. Easy.
He needs to keep this pace.
Excellent. 4. Come on. You can do this. Again. Come on. Oh.
Just a bit off balance there, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he lost the line on that rep. Come
Straight
on.
back in. Oh.
Stop.
So he has a little bit of time to recover. get himself back in, but as you know, when you hit that wall, it's hard to get back on the horse.
He was flying there with those first few reps. They were looking really, really solid.
Oh, they were great.
Has he got enough time to recover now and give it one last effort?
The speed of those first four, it would definitely say there was more.
It just looked as if he lost his line slightly on that fifth rep. And then he was fighting against him. That drains energy. No.
Let's go.
It was a valiant effort. Those first 4 reps looked fantastic. Unfortunately, he just came away from himself a little bit, lost his line. Then you're really struggling with that kind of weight. It brought him back down. And then you could just see he just had nothing left after that. But look how nice these first 4 were.
The speed was great. I mean, that's obviously going to transfer into a big weight. We're working a bit more muscular endurance here alongside strength, but the speed of that 400, especially on the first
3 reps,
4.
absolutely beautiful. This is the 4th one coming up now. Still looking strong. Ever so slightly, his chest just fell forward a tiny bit with that 4th one. And then let's see this 5th one. It's coming up.
Just too far forward, I think they can hit off.
It's just the lockout. The knees had to push forward.
Yeah.
He's a lifter that's not used to hitching. He's so well trained. He's not like some of the guys that can. You see some of the guys. I mean, Derek Pounds, Rob Kearney, excellent. Yeah. They kind of get used to it. Adam's an extremely efficient lifter. He can't lift with bad form, and once he couldn't get that 5th rep. Like we've said before, it's like hitting a wall. When that energy level goes, suddenly you go from making it look easy to that weight is sticking to the floor.
But it was a good effort. Like, I mean, he went for that almost 7 times attempts trying to rip it from the floor. Like, the first 4 were successful. The 3 after that, he was a bit unfortunate with, but a great effort from Adam.
Oh, I'll be honest with you, Mark. After watching the first 4 reps, I thought he had the record in him. It was looking so good. It really was. He'll be disappointed. I know Adam, pretty well. I know how his training's been going. I spoke to him recently. I know he would have wanted more than that. And looking at 4 reps, I thought he was there. Maybe just rushed the time limit a little bit. Maybe should have given himself a slightly longer pause in between reps, but that's easy to say in hindsight. This kind of weight is so heavy. It really is.
And a lot of the tactics of the athletes, they were saying that they're just going to go in as many as they can, as fast as they can in that time period. The 75 seconds is there, but whether you have that rest in between.
Yeah, to be honest, with this kind of weight, once you're gone, you're gone. You're not going to be able to recover within 30 seconds to lift this kind of weight. So it just looked like maybe he rushed that 4th rep ever so slightly, maybe just a fraction second longer. But like I said, that's easy to say sat here. I've been in shows many times where it's time to lift and panic sets in and you just go for it.
Yeah.
And he probably was thinking, I've got 6 in me. I'm just going to get them all done in one go. Unfortunately, not today, but what an effort.
And we're back over to Canada to see JF Caron's final weigh-in of this 400 kilos. Big Z just confirming. A little bit harder for Big Z this one because he's having to let's say, add them all up and make sure it's 400.
Yeah, no crane this time, but Zadrunas is used to this. He's been doing it week in, week out now. He's the best in the business, I think. Zadrunas is very, very fair, very strict. We've seen that.
Yeah.
But that's what we want from a referee. You need that consistency every week, making sure
he's very neutral as well. Like there's no bias. There's no. He's the greatest of all time. So he has that stature, the reputation. Yeah.
Very much so. He's got that respect from all the guys.
And the call.
With Zadrunas, he's as straight as they come as well. He's not trying to screw anyone over. He's not trying to get anything out of it. He just wants to see fair competition. So 400 kilos for JF Caron.
We need to some small plates. You have something?
So I think it's just under 400 kilos. Big Z is going to make sure it goes up
I'm
to
like
exactly
half
400.
kilogram or 2. You have like two small half kilo. Or some call-ups. So put some small.
Not
things.
happy with the weight this time.
Yeah.
And this is what we mean by Zadrunas. He wants it to be fair for everyone.
So the guys are just going to get small plates just to bring the weight up a little bit. I think it's just shy of 399 kilos. So
you're going to put some half kilos on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
0.8 kilos.
Yeah.
That just shows, like, you know, I've never been in a competition before and they've given a damn about 0.8 of a kilo.
Yeah, okay, then it's 400. Okay.
Nothing gets past the Zadrunas. I mean, in all honesty, that won't make a damn bit of difference to the end result. He's not going to get an extra rep or a less of a rep by adding that 0.8 kilos that they just added there. But we said we're going to do these properly, and that's exactly what we're doing.
So 400 kilos is loaded onto the bar. Adam Bishop got 4 repetitions. The number to beat is 5. Can JF Caron?
Well, JF has done 5 before. He knows he's capable of that. Is he in good enough shape to go for that extra rep?
He looked on great form on those warm-up lifts, that's for sure. But you saw it was the same with Adam.
Both of them look fantastic on the warm-ups. And again, I'll expect the first few reps to go up nice and quickly. It just depends. I think the real telling for all the guys is that 4th rep. In that 3rd and 4th. How easy you can make that 4th will determine how many extra reps they have in them.
Here we go.
That's ready.
Talc on the legs to make the bar as smooth as possible.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Lift.
JF Caron, 400 kilos. Fast first rep.
So explosive.
There's 2.
Same again, wow.
3 reps. Come on, keep it going.
Struggled on that one there.
And that's getting a lot slower now. 4 reps.
Yeah.
He's taking a break.
A lot different to Adam Bishop's speed. A lot different. But he's got the 4 in the bag.
He's got 4, no mistakes. You can see that last rep was starting to get hard. He's trying to recover as much as he can and get this next one. I mean, that first rep, it was, you'd almost call it a speed rep. But it's that explosive power that you need to lift these kind of weights. It dies very, very quickly.
So he has 75 seconds. He has the time. So he step back up to the bar. Can he get a 5th rep and match Rauno Heinler?
Come on, JF, we need this one. Come on. Straps himself to the bar.
Here we go.
Oh. He may have pulled something in his groin area there.
Yeah, he's too.
Quad, perhaps.
Definitely something pulled there. When you're working with this extreme weight, and even a little niggle that can put you off the lift.
Yeah, you could.
I didn't see last one,
he
but I
looked
think
uncomfortable getting to the bar. He looked easy lifting. I mean, particularly those earlier reps. But you kept mentioning yourself, Mark, how like comfortable almost Bish looks when he's getting in position. JF he's an older athlete. He's got a number of injuries over the years. It does start to take its toll. And when you start pushing to the absolute limit, that's when the body says enough is enough. But another great performance. He'll be disappointed as well. He's hit 5 with that in contest before. I'm sure he'll be disappointed. He would have wanted 6. But it just shows.
Shoot over to a quick replay and see those first. It was the first 3 he got back to back.
Easy first rep. You just see the very top of the lift wasn't as probably strong as he would have liked. powerful.
Yeah,
off
it's
the
almost
floor.
not snappy. It was
Yeah.
it was a bit of I wouldn't say a grind, but it was a smoother pull than a snap.
Doesn't look as tightly locked out as he normally is on his deadlifts. I don't know if that's some kind of long-term issue that he's got going on, because he never used to have that issue. You can see the knees aren't really 100% locked out there. And normally he's very solid, very, very solid. So I don't know if there is some underlying issue. Still ridiculously powerful, especially if there is. But I've seen JF stronger than this before. I've seen. You've got to remind yourself it's 400 kilos.
Yeah.
I've never done 400 kilos for 4 reps, so I'll remind myself of that. I did one time do 3 reps, and that was at my prime, absolutely at my strongest on my deadlift. So
something definitely went wrong on that last attempt he had. There was something, little injury creeped in there, but still 4 reps, phenomenal. He matched Adam Bishop, he matched Jerry Pritchett. He was 1 rep off Rauno Heinla and his previous record. So all in all, I think it was a really good result, considering there might have been a little niggle there at the end, or a little injury.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Mark. I mean, I think we've all been guilty of just expecting to see ridiculous things. We were all, spoilt when Eddie and Thor both have gone like to the 500 kilo mark. It's almost made people forget how impressive 400 kilos is. There's still not that many guys that have pulled 400 kilos. It's still a small minority, although there's more than there were. It's, you still got to be world-class athlete to be pulling that. And these guys are world-class in so many different areas, not just the deadlift. It's an impressive feat of strength.
We are a community dedicated to those who love fitness and food.
We have a mission to show that you can pursue your personal fitness goals and enjoy the process.
We are committed to creating a community where you can be and should be proud of your body.
No matter what stage of the fitness journey you are on.
From fat to fit.
Hit them PRs, make them gains, and eat that donut.
Join the brand, join the message, join the movement.
collection Reboot de Royer. Des bottes faites chez nous par des gens de cœur pour les travailleurs d'ici. Royer, le respect du travail.
And we're going to jump across to Adam Bishop, where we'll have a little interview post-feat.
Rolling, yeah, he's doing 400 for reps too. We're rolling, guys. So Adam, 400 for reps. Silly question, really. How do you feel?
I'm a little bit gutted, really. I was really confident going into this that 6 or 7 reps was there. Everything in training kind of pointed towards it. A little bit of a different work week for me this week, probably scuffing me a bit. And once you make a mistake, like I did on that 5th rep, just kind of getting out of position a little bit. You're talking about 400 kilos. Like you make a mistake with that, there's kind of like no coming back from it. You've really wasted a chance. So yeah, disappointed.
Oh, shame. So obviously you won Britain's Strongest Man this year back in January. Huge crowd, 10,000 plus. It's a virtual crowd now. We're on the internet, the World Wide Web. How's it feel?
It's bizarre, because obviously usually we've got the massive live crowd, you can interact with them, they kind of give you a bit of energy. Very different doing it kind of in a home gym, but it's great that we're able to watch these events like during this time when there are no competitions. It's giving us, the athletes, a chance to compete against each other, JF in Canada and me over in England, and it keeps the sport going, keeps the people watching, which is a great thing.
Cool. So a lot of your training is very specific to competitions and stuff. You've been training for weeks and weeks and weeks actually for this competition. What's next?
Next is to prep for the live shows. Hopefully they get going. Hopefully work towards a new deadlift PB at the World Deadlift Champs, and then fingers crossed, World's Strongest Man in Florida in November. I've qualified, and hopefully the comp goes ahead.
Cool. So as we know, we were both started off in grassroots competitions. Any words of wisdom to the aspiring strongmen out there?
Yeah, I guess just take your time. I think I'm the kind of perfect advert of just taking your time, learning the technique. Once you get that technique nailed down, you can get efficient at that lift, and you can build the way up slowly. You don't want to be kind of trying to jump in and try to compete at World's Strongest Man in your very first year. You want to build slowly through it.
Perfect. Thanks, Adam.
Cheers.
So Adam Bishop, a little bit disappointed there, Laws. He said there was about 6 or 7 reps in the tank.
Yeah, just listening to him there, it was kind of reiterating what I said during the commentary. I mean, I'm not sure that he had 7 in him, but he definitely looked good for 5 or 6. Came out of line slightly. And unfortunately, as Adam said, with that kind of weight, once you make a small mistake, it just drains you extremely quickly. Unfortunately, today wasn't his day, but I'd love to see him back and trying to attempt it again.
No, definitely. We're going to go over to Canada now for JF Caron. Let's see what's happening over there.
Aspiring strongman, and for the word for the fans, maybe.
I really want to say thank you to all the fans watching the events. Behind this, you have a big team for Wus Feats Strongman and all the sponsors. They work very hard to put this in place, and it's a very difficult situation because we need to work online. It's a lot of weeks of preparation for that type of event. And thank you for all, and I really appreciate the fans follow that, and I receive also a lot of message on the social media. And I think the people like this because everybody wants to see a real contest, but now it's not possible. But I think they help all athletes around the world to train very hard and improve themselves.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
So JF Caron ending on a nice positive message there for all the fans back home. No mention of a little injury or anything like that. Hopefully it's just a niggle on his side.
I know JF very well, and he never moans about anything. He's just a hard-working, humble man and an extremely strong man as well. So thanking the fans, I think as we all have, we've all enjoyed these shows over the last few weeks. Awesome performance by the guys. Unfortunately, not enough for a world record, but another opportunity for them to compete, another opportunity for us to enjoy watching.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, Adam Bishop, JF Caron, 4 repetitions each. Unfortunately, none of them could take the record. Rauno Heinla managed to, let's say, capitalise and get 5 repetitions between the 2 events, Jerry and Rauno, and JF and Adam. We may have a bonus event next week. I'm sure we're going to announce that this upcoming week. So make sure you guys at home stay tuned for that. And from myself and Lauren Shalley, stay strong, stay safe.
Take care, guys.